Welcome to Pretty Lies and Alibis. Let's seek the truth and travel the long road to justice together. What you know, Alibiers, welcome to another episode of Pretty Lies and Alibis. I'm Gigi. Good to have you here. It's Thursday, March 5th. This is my second attempt because your girl left the mic on mute the first time. Let me just say I'm glad tomorrow is no court because I got other things to work on, and that would be Lady. So as of today, haven't heard anything else, but I'm exploring some options, and I will definitely keep you updated. She needs to be back home where she's loved and not just left outside 24/7, rain, sleet, snow, wind, whatever. And also where her heartworms are taken care of, and she doesn't have every rib shown. Really disappointed in Animal Care Greenville for giving this dog back to her abuser. Your girl's fired up. Let's jump in, though. Back on the stand after lunch was Kouri's friend Chelsea. She was at the Richins home 2 days after Eric's death. Kouri was upset and she went to console her. Kouri got in an argument with her sister-in-law, Amy, about Kouri trying to get into Eric's safe to get the will out. And the argument also involved the home. The sister-in-law told Kouri the house wasn't hers, it was Katie's. Kouri was crying, she collapsed, she was hysterical, and she said she couldn't believe this was happening. She doesn't know much about Kouri's business other than flipping houses and said Kouri presented herself as successful. The witness did not know she was in financial distress. And bless her heart, I wish she had known because this is the friend Kouri sold the house to, and her kids got booted out. So she bought that house from Kouri and lived there with her family, her 4 kids, and she tears up talking about this. She said they needed a place to live, and Kouri was flipping the house and offered to sell it to her. The arrangement was back and forth for about a year on what would work, but it ended that the witness would sign the deed and pay a down payment. However, the loan would be in Kouri's name, but the witness would pay the mortgage. The down payment was to pay the brokers back, and she paid that money in order to get the house, and that was $45,000. Y'all, Kouri was writing a novel. I bet that girl has still got writer's cramp tonight. The witness was a manager at a restaurant, mainly working for tips, and she used her life savings to make that down payment. She wired that to Kouri in 2 separate transactions, and she thought Kouri would put that on the mortgage that was closing soon. And the arrangement on paying that mortgage is the witness would pay $2,900 a month directly to the mortgage company. She had a warranty deed that she signed on the house, and they show it. It shows Chelsea as the sole owner, and that's signed by Kouri January 6, 2023. But Kouri is listed as the beneficiary or lender. But the witness had the understanding this was her home. But all that changed when Kouri got arrested. The witness was informed there was a loan taken out on the house that she didn't know about. She emailed the lady they signed the papers with and asked for a copy. She was told it was never filed with the county. September of 2024, the witness was evicted because the new owners kicked her out. Kouri gave the deed in lieu of foreclosure to someone else, and because of that, they owned that house. But moving back in time to a text thread between her and Kouri on June 17th, 2022. And I'm just not going to say all the cuss words. I mean, like the big ones. I try to keep it family friendly to where if your kid walks in the room when you're listening, you don't have to hear a bunch of F-bombs. And the context of these texts was that Kouri got an affidavit on why her house was searched. Kouri, OMFG, I got the document. It's Katie and Amy. They told the detective, basically, I've been trying to kill Eric for years and Eric was divorcing me. Chelsea, holy F. Are you effing serious? I mean, we knew it, but what the actual F? When was he divorcing you? Can you send it to me? I want to read it if it's okay. Kouri, I just sent it to you. And they said we were arguing about buying the Midway house because he didn't want to sign the papers on it. That house had nothing to do with him. They said I didn't even try CPR. Oh my God. WTF. Chelsea, what do they want with the Midway house? Like, do they want the equity of it? Like, WTF. Are you effing serious? It even says in the ME how you did CPR. WTF. I would be so done and ask Gene if he knew anything about them doing this. I knew it was them, but that's still effing shocking. Kouri, this is all so full of crap and lies. They are saying we were arguing about us buying the Midway house the day Eric died, so I had something to do with this. He had nothing to do with the damn Midway house. We never fought about it. Eric was at the Midway house the day he passed away, having gravel delivered. They are so effing stupid, and I have no idea about anything. Chelsea, oh my effing God. Didn't you guys have a drink to toast the signing of the Midway house? And why the F would you kill him over that? That's the stupidest effing thing. You have bought and sold tons of houses. Why all of a sudden that one was the one he argued with you about and you killed him over? I would completely cut ties with that family now. That's effed up. They're all effed up. Kouri, exactly. They are so effing stupid. And Valentine's Day, are they serious? Oh my God. Chelsea, I haven't read it yet. I'm about to grab a beer and read it. What did they say about Valentine's Day? Kouri, well, read it. Then we can talk. Chelsea, oh, snap. Okay, I'll read it in 10. Just got to switch to the laundry. Chelsea, what the actual F? You gave him a sandwich? There is something here that's redacted. And Eric has talked to us about how he got sick in Greece because of his Lyme disease medicine. Wade does the same with his old Crohn's disease medicine. It's not uncommon. I mean, F, what if Eric was trying to kill you and set you up with the things like that? And if he wanted to divorce you, why didn't he let you move out when you had your condo? He didn't want you to leave and begged you. Even Amy said he was trying by reading anger management books and everything because he loved you so much and couldn't let you go. Even effing Bryce said it. It says how his family came to them. Do you think Jean was one of them? Have the detectives talked to Sky ever? And what would you have put in the sandwich for him to break out in hives? And this is where Kouri gets a bit of the diabetes. I didn't even make him an effing sandwich, those effing idiots. It was Valentine's Day, and Eric and I both were working from home that day, and I ordered lunch from Mirror Lake Diner. He never broke out in hives or used an EpiPen. I was effing with him. Bailey was there too. He said the sandwich hurt his stomach, so he was going to nap. No hives, no EpiPen. They're such liars. And then he woke up and went to work. Eric got sick in Greece because we were all at a restaurant and he ordered a non-alcoholic drink. And they mixed alcohol in it anyway and gave it to him. Everyone was there and watched it happen. I didn't give him an effing drink. The waitress did. Eric was not going to divorce me. Are you effing kidding me? They can go through our texts and read the messages he would send to me and know that. Chelsea, where the F are they getting this stuff from then? How can they just make this crap up and get away with it? There's some redactions and autocorrect gets her here. Like for suck's sakes, Cody definitely is involved in this also. I bet it was him and the sisters. They don't want you to get anything. This is effed up like for real. You guys were not divorcing and you have no reason to kill him. You could have just left him without killing him. I'm effing shocked. Kouri, I'm suing them for defamation and lying to the cops. Every bit of that is an effing lie. Every bit of it. They're not going to get away with this. I sent it to Jean. I told him I was done with the girls. They are never allowed my kids again. And if he needs to respect that. And said because they are effing liars. He hasn't gotten back to me yet. He will, but I'm done. Chelsea, oh for sure, sue them. Even effing Cody. All three of them are lying. I'm effing shocked. How could they say that? And how could the cops go believe that without asking you any questions about any of those accusations? I wonder what Jean is going to say. The witness listened to a phone call earlier this morning. It's very, very long. I do have it recorded. However, as you can tell based on the prior text messages, it is full of the F-bombs. And I'm going to go in, enhance the audio, put some subtitles on it, and take out all the F words. So it's definitely going to be tomorrow or Saturday before I get it out. But I'm going to break down what the call said. This involves three people, Kouri, Chelsea, and Bryce. Kouri talks about being involved in a lawsuit with Eric's family. She says she took the $250,000 from the house and they own $11 million in real estate. She says Eric never let her get a job, and Bryce said communication was a big thing with Eric. Kouri said he knows about Eric's trust and she doesn't care about the money. Eric has $3 million in life insurance and she wants that to go to the boys. She said the house is hers and she works hard for the money. And if you were wondering, I totally sang that in my head. She will fight for the home. But Bryce tells Kouri, Eric did everything for her and the boys, but he knew this was going to get really ugly and he just wants to stay neutral. Even though Eric and Kouri weren't getting along well, Eric would say Kouri was his wife and the mother of his kids and he loved her. Kouri starts crying again and says she wants her house. They can keep the money. Chelsea tells Bryce that Eric's family thinks Kouri killed him and they're not going to do anything until the autopsy comes back. Bryce says he does not believe Kouri killed Eric. Bryce says he doesn't know what the will says, and Chelsea says that Eric put the home in the trust, but it's Katie who can make all the decisions until the boys are 18, and there's nothing Kouri can do until she gets with an attorney. She also said Kouri wasn't allowed to be at Eric's celebration of life service because his family will make her look bad to everybody. Amy told Kouri she was an incompetent mother and couldn't take care of her sons. Bryce disagrees, and Chelsea said they all need to just band together and love each other. She said everyone is going to the celebration of life and Kouri's just doing what's best for her sons. Bryce says the end of it is Eric loved her and the boys. This part of the call ends and they bring in a second. Bryce says he feels bad for Kouri and supports her, but he does not want to get in the middle between her and the Richins family. He said Eric did call him to vent sometimes, and he told Eric to get a divorce, but Eric said he loved his sons and he loved Kouri. Kouri said her and Eric have been in a good place the last couple of years. She said he would go outside and write in an anger management journal, and she was going to counseling. They were having date nights and things like that, but she said Eric's sisters are coming at her for no reason at all. And he tells Kouri that Amy and Katie just heard all the bad stuff. He tells Kouri he feels really bad this is happening because of what Eric did a couple of years ago with the trust. Kouri said the sisters are coming up with something new every single day, and by the way, she's being charged with assault. Kouri talked to the medical examiner, and she said they have not returned her call, and she is not happy about it. They said an aneurysm was ruled out quickly, and he tested positive for COVID. And the medical examiner said Eric had that fungal infections in his lungs that the medical examiner testified he did not, and that his lungs were full of blood and fluid. She said she didn't believe that because she said Eric is like a mountain goat. His lungs were fine. If he died of COVID, she would have heard him struggling to breathe. He was in great shape, and Kouri gives the example. She was training for a half marathon, and Eric didn't train at all, but he ended up beating her. Bryce tells Kouri she's doing the right thing, and he's sorry she's going through this. Kouri said she would never screw Eric, and Bryce said if Eric were here today, he would change that trust. Kouri said it's hurtful the way Eric wrote it, but they won't do anything without the autopsy, and Kouri says she's lost it. Her attorney said probably because the Richins think she did it. Bryce tells Kouri if she was capable of killing Eric, she would have shot him 2 years ago. Kouri talks about Amy calling her a bad mom and said she asked people to write letters for her in her defense. Kouri says she likes to drink, but she's never been so drunk that she couldn't care for her sons. She said, my baby lost their daddy, and you're going to give a video saying I'm a bad mom? Chelsea says that the sisters are fixated on hurting Kouri, and Eric left a family behind, and why are they fighting for his money? Kouri says they can take it all. So that was the end of the call, and they bring some more texts in. Kouri to Chelsea. They say it's ready, and they have me on the list first to call to come get the official report. And the death certificate has now been updated, so I'm rushing to get it before Katie. Chelsea, I was going to ask if you might run into them. What if you do see them? Holy crap, I'm freaking out. Kouri, a trace of fentanyl, manner of death undetermined. His lungs were shot to crap. And then he took something containing fentanyl, and it put his lungs overboard and they shut down. Chels, I think this is finally effing over. Effing over. I'm waiting on my attorney to call me and confirm that, but I think it's over. I'm bawling. Just you wait. Chelsea, holy crap. Is that what the ME said? So they're done with the investigation too? Like, did they find where he got the fentanyl from? Holy crap, friend, it's over. And Friday, we get to see more about it and have everything over. Like, holy crap. It looks like with the scoliosis, COVID, and then fentanyl, it just got his lungs. Did they say how much fentanyl that is? Kouri says call you in a few. They showed the medical examiner's report briefly on screen, and for Cross, Lewis said they had no questions. I guess that's the least they could do after Kouri had her and her 4 kids kicked to the curb. The next witness, holy moly, all she was gorgeous. Allie Stakings. She grew up with Kouri, met her in junior high. She was familiar with the business, and her partner were going to hire Kouri to do some work for them. However, she didn't know the business was in bad shape financially. She did know Kouri was having that affair with Josh because Kouri told her in June of 2020. February 20th, 2022, Kouri said she broke up with Josh 9 months before. That's a lie. During this time, she was hanging out with Kouri and Eric. Eric told him he thought Kouri tried to poison him, but it was in a joking way. He thought it was an allergic reaction, and they laughed at the story. They were teasing Kouri for trying to poison him, and Kouri laughed and said, no, that's not what happened. It wasn't that dramatic. The witness and Kouri went to a retreat in Sedona, Arizona in February of 2021, and they wrote their life story in third person. So this is Kouri's life story in third person. Kouri was born in 1990 in Oklahoma. Her parents were married and worked for the same engineering company. They were both previously married with children. Her father had a daughter, Tanya, and her mother had a son and a daughter, Renee and DJ. Together, Kouri's parents had Kouri and her brother, Ronnie. Ronnie and Kouri had to move a lot when they were kids. From 1990 to 1994, they lived in 17 different states due to their parents' work. Kouri's father was a successful engineer, but he was also an alcoholic and had been most of his life. In 1994, he was drinking and driving and fell asleep at the wheel. He hit/ran over a cop who had another car pulled over on the side of the road. He was put in prison for the next 6.5 years. Kouri's mom, who today is her best friend, had her own addiction. She is a compulsive gambler. Once Kouri's father was put in prison, her mom then filed for divorce in 1998 and continued working full-time, rarely being home. Tanya, Kouri's dad's daughter, was being raised by her mom. DJ, Kouri's half-brother, lived with his father. However, Kouri's older sister helped Kouri's mother raise Kouri and Ronnie while their mom worked. Once Renee turned 18, she left and never had a relationship again with Kouri or Ronnie because she blames them for having to help raise them, destroying her life as a kid. In 2000, Kouri and Ronnie and their mom moved to Utah to be closer to their mom's sister and finally settled down. However, their mom's gambling addiction made life as a kid difficult. Their mother was a compulsive gambler, and there was a casino only a couple of hours from our home. Every weekend growing up, we would spend it in a hotel room while our mother gambled. Eventually, our home was foreclosed on, multiple cars repossessed, and ends were barely being met. Kouri's mother spent everything and more to fulfill her addiction needs, even if that meant losing our home multiple times. Kouri lost trust in her parents at a very young age. She graduated from high school in 2007 when she was 17. Eager to begin college and have a stable life, make a stable life for herself. She began college and met her now husband. When Kouri met her husband, she instantly fell for the idea of marriage with kids and a happy family, a stable family because that was her dream. Kouri got pregnant her sophomore year of college, which was very unexpected. At the time, Kouri's relationship was very rocky, but she thought once the baby gets here, I'll be happy and everything will be fine. Kouri had her first son in 2012 and graduated college that same year. She then got married in 2013 because she told herself, when I get married, I'll be happy. In 2014, she had her second son because she told herself, another baby will make me happy. Kouri then started graduate school in 2016 because that will fill this hole and make me happy, but it didn't. In 2017, she had her third son and her life spiraled downhill. She graduated from grad school in 2018. However, she also found out her husband had been having an emotional affair. Kouri went to counseling on and off because of anxiety and depression. This constant need to chase happiness left her emotionally exhausted from years of hearing, "You're selfish, you're not enough, you need me," from her husband. She's ready to open her heart and find the happiness that's already there and stop looking for it. And that was the end of her life story. On cross, the witness currently lives in California, and she did come to Utah to visit the month before Eric died. In the past, she had taken gummies with the Richins, but on this trip, they did not. She said the gummies made Kouri sick because they were bad. The gummies were obtained through the same person, but she was never around when those were bought. She heard Eric died and booked a flight and got to Utah the next day on March 5th. Kouri was grieving and distraught, and she wasn't acting odd to her. The witness went to Eric's celebration of life service at Eric's parents' house the night after he passed. They bring in a photo with several people. It's Kouri, Bryce, who we just heard on that phone call, Amy Richins, Chelsea, and Allie. The witness spent the night, and the next day, Amy came when Kouri was trying to get into Eric's safe to get his will. Kouri did not know the code, so she called a locksmith. That's when Amy ran into the garage to stop them from opening up the safe. Kouri was so full of rage and frustration because she couldn't get in that she was shaking and crying. When talking about the Valentine's Day incident, Eric was joking along, and she said the two of them seemed fine when she was with them. Did Bryce take off his pants at the celebration of life? And she said he probably did, but the picture was taken before that. The defense was back up asking if there was anything strange about the celebration of life. No, they just tried to keep it upbeat for the kids. Amy, Bryce, and Chelsea also spent the night as well. That's where we left off. No court tomorrow, but Monday I have a feeling that Cody Wright, Eric's business partner, will be on the stand. He was supposed to be up today, but these witnesses took too long, and there was a lot of sidebars and sending the jury out, and that ate up a lot of minutes. That is it for maybe the weekend, y'all. Hope you guys have a good rest of your evening, and we will see you soon.